Today, we're going to tell you a story. It comes from a single, very detailed account, a really chilling record of a childhood game, one that ended tragically.
Yes, and our focus here isn't just recounting it, but maybe understanding the setup, the fear, this game they call the sleeping game, and the very mysterious death of one of the children, Aaron.
So let's set the scene. You've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
The person telling the story, we'll call him the narrator, their older brother, Kyle, their cousin, Greg, and Kyle's little sister, Erin. She was only 6.
And because their parents all worked the same late shift, the 3rd shift, at a factory, these sleepovers were like a regular thing. Every week, almost, they'd rotate whose house it was at.
Right, and this particular story really centers on Aaron and Kyle's place, which, already had a bit of a reputation.
Mm-hmm. A local legend, really, about the previous owner, a guy named Mr. Toombs. Died alone in the house.
And the rumor was he died downstairs, near the furnace in the basement. So even before the game started, there was this underlying creepiness to the house.
Definitely a factor. An atmosphere that Kyle, the oldest brother, seemed to almost weaponize. He's the one who started the sleeping game.
Yeah, it wasn't just kids messing around. The source says Kyle mandated it, made them play, and it always started right after he told a scary story.
And the rules were deceptively simple, but really strict. Once the story was over, that was it. You were zipped into your sleeping bag and you could not get out.
For any reason. Didn't matter if you were scared, thirsty, needed the bathroom. Nope, stay put.
And the penalty, if you broke the rule, if you got caught leaving.
The Indian burn from everyone else. It wasn't just, the sting. It was the group punishment, being singled out.
And Kyle didn't exactly start gently, did he? The very first time they played, the story he chose. It was brutal.
Yeah, something about a skinny alien that comes through the window and cuts you up while you're lying there. In your bed, your sleeping bag, your safe space.
Directly targeting that feeling of security. And for Aaron, just 6 years old, you can imagine.
She was terrified. The narrator says she was trying so hard to be quiet, but later that night, she just couldn't hold it. Started crying softly.
Whispering that she really, really needed the bathroom, but she was petrified of getting that Indian burn.
So the narrator felt bad, kind of bent the rules, and secretly gave her permission to go. Just whispered, okay, go.
She slips out of her bag, heads for the bathroom, but just as she gets there, before the door even closes.
A scream. The transcript calls it a shrill, horror-filled explosion. Just absolute terror.
Parents rush in, of course, find her hysterical, soaking wet.
Yeah, she'd wet herself, pointing at the shower curtain, blaming the alien from the story.
That physical reaction, the immediate wetting, it just shows how intense the fear was. Caused by the story, yes, but also by being trapped by the rules of the game.
You'd think that would be the end of it, right? The dad gave them a lecture, but no.
They kept playing. On subsequent nights, subsequent sleepovers, they did agree to maybe tell slightly less intense stories.
Right, like one about a lady pulled into a grave or a baby brother's head coming off. Still pretty grim stuff for kids.
But the core rule remained. Stay in the bag or face the punishment. The game itself, the ritual, seemed important to the older boys.
And months go by like this. The narrator noticed the toll it was taking, especially on Erin.
She got caught breaking the rules the most often, faced the most penalties.
And she just looked exhausted all the time. Sleep-deprived, anxious. That was the price of this game for her.
It's a tough dynamic to break, isn't it? Once these group rules are set. But the narrator did eventually speak up.
Yeah, talked to Kyle. Said, this is really messing Aaron up.
And they reached a compromise, a secret one. They decided they'd only play the game once a month. Not every single time they had a sleepover.
But, and this is important, they didn't tell Aaron.
No. The narrator says it was so she wouldn't feel like they were treating her like a baby. But it also meant the fear wasn't really gone for her, was it? She never knew when the game might happen.
Exactly. Which brings us to the last night described in the account. The sleepover was back at Aaron and Kyle's house, and this time, they were in the basement.
The worst possible place, given the lore. One side was sort of finished, like a den. The other side, unfinished cellar, furnace room.
Separated by just a wooden door, and that furnace room, that was supposedly Mr. Toombs' spot, where he died.
They actually tried to be a bit sensible first. Made everyone go to the bathroom beforehand.
But then lights out. Kyle gets the flashlight, holds it under his chin. You know the look. Time for the story. And this time, it was about Mr. Toombs himself.
He whispered the legend that Mr. Toombs waits waits until you're asleep.
And then he sucks your breath into his lungs.
The implication being if you sleep too soundly, sleep for too long, Mr. Toombs takes all your air, you just stop breathing, die in your sleep.
Talk about psychological pressure. That story in that specific basement.
And then the furnace kicks on. That sudden rattling noise right from the room where the ghost is supposed to be. The transcript says everyone jumped, even Kyle and Greg.
Erin was, understandably, a wreck. Tried to bribe Kyle with her lunch snacks for the next day if he'd just stop.
Didn't work. And the narrator, feeling that pity again, gave her something small. A lifesaver candy. Lime flavor. Just trying to calm her down. Remember that detail.
Yeah, the lime lifesaver. Despite everything, Erin was so worn out, so scared, she was the first one to actually fall asleep.
The narrator, though, had a rough night. Describes lying there, terrified, every time the furnace clanked on, picturing Mr. Toombs floating nearby.
At one point, the narrator tried to sneak out to pee, got caught by Kyle.
And the rules were enforced. Indian burns, maybe a punch or a swat traded back and forth. Quick, brutal confirmation that the game was still very much on.
Then back into the sleeping bag. More fear, more waiting for the furnace. It sounds like torture.
Is that mix, isn't it? Normal kid stuff like needing the bathroom, mixed with this intense manufactured terror.
So the night passes, morning comes, the aunt comes downstairs to wake them up for school.
Starts gently calling their names. Then louder. Then she gets annoyed, apparently. Starts threatening to flush Erin's goldfish, Golden, trying to get a reaction.
Nothing from Erin. Silence.
The aunt rushes over. Kyle tries shaking her, but she's limp, unresponsive.
Chaos. Just absolute chaos. Parents screaming. The ambulance gets there incredibly fast. The boys just sitting there, stunned, silent.
And the questions start immediately. Police arrive. Did anyone drink anything, take any medicine, looking for an easy answer?
The narrator mentions Erin was the last one to use the bathroom the night before. Seems irrelevant, maybe.
But then someone finds it, an empty bottle of sleeping pills, in the medicine cabinet upstairs.
And suddenly, there's a potential explanation. A quick, tragic answer. Overdose.
But wait, the aunt insists. Through tears, she's adamant that bottle was already empty. She'd kept it, apparently, just remembered the brand name.
But in that moment, with the shock and the grief, the empty pill bottle becomes the focus, the easiest story.
So, Erin was pronounced dead. And initially, the suspicion, however weakly supported, pointed towards the pills.
But then, years later, the official investigation concluded, and the toxicology reports.
Completely negative. No pills, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing.
So that theory was out, which led to the official cause of death.
Accidental asphyxiation, blamed on the sleeping bag. The idea where she somehow suffocated in it during the night.
Which sounds possible, but maybe a little too simple. The family sued the sleeping bag company for millions based on that. It provided a tangible cause, someone to blame.
Right, a clinical mechanical explanation. It closes the case neatly. Tragic accident.
But it completely ignores the game, doesn't it? The fear, the exhaustion, the specific story Kyle told.
About Mr. Toombs, the ghost who steals your breath while you sleep, in that very basement.
Exactly. Which makes the narrator's final experience in that house years later so profoundly disturbing.
He was helping Greg, the cousin, move out for college. He had to go into the basement to get some boxes.
Into the unfinished part, the furnace room, Mr. Toombs' room.
He steps inside. It's warm from the furnace, and he immediately notices the smell. That familiar, heavy, sour smell he always associated with the house.
He described it as like old, sour breath. Or maybe the smell of decay, the smell of the fear that always hung in that basement.
But this time, there was something else underneath it. Another smell. Very distinct.
Heavy, sweet, almost clawing, he says. Completely different from the sourness.
A smell he recognized instantly.
It was the smell, the exact smell of someone's breath after they've just eaten a lime lifesaver.
That specific detail. The lime candy the narrator gave Erin right before she fell asleep that last night. Lingering in the air years later in the ghost's supposed resting place.
It just throws everything into question, doesn't it? If it wasn't the pills, and if accidental asphyxiation feels incomplete, what does that smell mean?
Did the story work? Did the intense fear, the suggestion that Mr. Toombs steals breath, combined with her exhaustion and the oppressive game, did it somehow make the story come true? A kind of a psychosomatic death triggered by terror?
Or is it suggesting something else? That maybe Erin wasn't alone when she died? That the only trace left wasn't forensic, but the shared, specific sensory memory, the lime candy connecting her last conscious moments to that haunted space?
It leaves you with this deep unease. Was it a terrible accident fueled by childhood cruelty and a faulty product? Or did the ghost story, the game itself, somehow claim a victim? The evidence points one way, but that final scent, it points somewhere else entirely.
It's a chilling ambiguity to leave you with, a story where fear itself might have been the most dangerous thing in the room. Thank you for joining us as we explored the unsettling account of the sleeping game. If this story sent shivers down your spine, please remember to hit the like button, share this with someone who loves a good fight, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more in-depth explorations of the terrifying and unknown. Goodbye.